From ABC, this is World News Sunday. Here's Carol Simpson.
Good evening. Russian President Boris Yeltsin has cause to celebrate tonight, just a few weeks after Russia's parliament rose up against him and he had to use force to put down a rebellion against him. It appears that Russia's voters approved the new constitution that Yeltsin has lobbied so hard for and that clearly defines his presidential powers. ABC's David Ensor reports.
The margin of victory was so large for Boris Yeltsin's new constitution that officials have already announced the document will soon be the law of the land. Yeltsin's spokesman said on television tonight, democracy has triumphed in Russia. The new constitution gives Yeltsin greater powers as president than any Western democratic leader has. But it also sets up a new two-house parliament and guarantees human rights. The bad news for Yeltsin is that the first returns presented on Russian television suggest the extreme right-wing party of Vladimir Zhirinovsky may come second out of the 13 parties competing for seats in the new parliament. Overtly racist, Zhirinovsky's party dreams of a new Russian empire, including Alaska. Westerners, he says, will soon learn to fear him.
They're afraid of me. Afraid.
Should they be afraid of you?
Yes, they should be afraid.
Still, pro-market reform parties together should well outnumber the right-wing nationalists and the communists in the new parliament. American observers here to watch the voting say it looked fair.
For the first free election since 1917, it was a most impressive show.
And for Russians like Vyacheslav Nikonov, there was special satisfaction in trudging through the snow with his son to the polling place.
For the first time in my life, I voted for a person I know very well and with whom I do agree.
Who's that?
Me.
Nikonov is running for parliament as an independent. 50 miles out of Moscow, though, in the village of Pionersky, heavy snow and cynicism about politicians kept many away from the polling places.
Before the election, they promise you everything. Look at how Yeltsin promised. As soon as they get to power, they will forget about everything. They will only think about themselves.
The last Soviet-era parliament was ignominiously closed down with tanks. Whatever the results of the voting, Boris Yeltsin will have trouble doing that again. The new parliament will have a more recent democratic mandate than he does. But he has renewed powers too, under the new constitution. Russian politics are about to enter a new era. David Ensor, ABC News, Moscow.
The Middle East peace agreement suffered something of a setback today. Israel's Prime Minister Rabin and PLO Chairman Yasser Arafat failed to resolve disputes over the plan to withdraw Israeli troops from the Gaza Strip and Jericho by tomorrow's deadline. The significance of today's setback is more symbolic than strategic, as ABC's Dean Reynolds reports.
Even Rabin and Arafat themselves could not make it happen. Their 2-hour meeting in Cairo today proved nothing except that the gap between them is too large to bridge for now. But they'll meet and try again in 10 days.
We need a little bit more time and 10 days, bearing in mind the 100 years of a Palestinian-Jewish conflict. It's not too long.
No doubt not to start tomorrow. It is a point, but 10 days, it is not a long time.
The key issues? Who will control the borders from Jericho to Jordan and the Gaza Strip to Egypt? And how big geographically is the area of Jericho the army will evacuate? The negotiating stalemate is risky. Tonight, an Israeli bus driver was shot on the occupied West Bank. And Palestinians are predicting the delay in starting the troop pullout will cause more unrest. In fact, in Gaza today, there was hardly any sign of overt enthusiasm for the peace accord. People are depressed, he says, disappointed too many times to be hopeful. We don't expect any peace, says this boy. Until the Palestinians see the Israeli army actually leave posts like this one here in the Jabalia refugee camp, enthusiasm for the Israeli PLO peace pact will not be very great. There is speculation the Israelis will take some largely symbolic steps tomorrow, releasing some Palestinian prisoners and possibly reducing soldiers in one or two areas so as to show that the process is not dead in the water. But any slippage in the date for withdrawal, no matter how insignificant, is fuel for suspicion and mistrust. Two ingredients that are hardly conducive to progress. Dean Reynolds, ABC News in the Israeli-occupied Gaza Strip.
Somali gunmen wounded 2 American military policemen in Mogadishu today. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Les Aspin said that 2,500 of the more than 8,000 American troops in Somalia will be home by Christmas. Pentagon officials say 1,000 soldiers from Fort Drum, New York, will start leaving Somalia this week. Aspin said this is the first step in President Clinton's promise to withdraw all U.S. troops by March 31st. Coming up, St. Louis mourns a slain 10-year-old girl while her killer remains at large. And later in this broadcast, why Wendover, Utah wants to cross the line into the land of legalized gambling. And UCLA's devastating O'Bannon brothers. Can their chemistry clinch a championship?
World News Sunday, brought to you by the makers of Robitussin.
Every time you have an awful cold, do you try a new cold remedy? Still looking for one that's right for you? Well, the search is over, because finally there's a cold medicine good enough to be called Robitussin. Introducing Robitussin Liquid Gels, powerful non-drowsy relief for your stuffy nose, chest congestion, and of course, cough. If you want sympathy, keep searching.
Feeling better?
If you want powerful relief,
Good.
take new Robitussin Liquid Gels. Finally, Robitussin relief for your cold.
Let's look in the dirty dictionary under R. Roverflow, the dry dog food that spills out of Rover's dish. Dustbuster, that which is lightweight, cordless, and cleans up dirt fast and easy. Dustbuster, the definition of quick cleanups.
What makes Sunsweet Orange and Lemon Essence Pitted Prunes the perfect snack?
Ooh, these are really good. They taste just like oranges. I like the lemon. Doing a lot with prunes nowadays. Sunsweet came up with a real good idea.
Isn't it time you tried Sunsweet?
The people of St. Louis mourn today for a 10-year-old girl, one of 2 victims of a killer or killers who have so far managed to elude the police. The entire community is anxious about the safety of its children. Here's ABC's Aaron Hayes.
The church was filled with parents holding close to their children, many of them friends of the slain little girl. Her family wept as 10-year-old Cassidy Center was remembered as a lovely and loving child whose short life and tragic death touched many.
In the past week, Cassie is one of the hearts of people all around the world.
The child's funeral served as a reminder to parents in this city that a cunning killer remains loose. It is 2 weeks since the body of the first murdered child was found, that of 9-year-old Angie Hausman, and police say they are still not close to finding the children's murderer.
We have leads that have come to a dead end, and we have many leads that we've gone out on that have led us to other leads.
With no prospects for an arrest soon, St. Louis area police continue to caution parents to watch their children closely.
The possibility exists that the person or persons responsible have chosen these young girls because they're easier targets.
So in many neighborhoods here, even on a crisp, clear day like today, you see no children playing. Streets are empty. Parents say life has changed for now, and maybe forever.
We will continue to watch them now for the rest of our lives closer than we ever have before.
Our kids should be able to play. We shouldn't have to look over our shoulders. We should be able to let them play within the houses, play with going next door. We shouldn't have to be scared, and I think we all are.
Tomorrow, an FBI computer system goes online here. It was most recently used in the case of Polly Klaas, the child abducted and found murdered in California. It is the prayer of everyone here that something will help police find the killer and put an end to the fear that has gripped so many here. Aaron Hayes, ABC News, St. Louis.
The death toll from last week's Long Island Railroad shooting rose today to 6. A 27-year-old woman who had moved to the suburbs so she could use the commuter train died from gunshot wounds. The Long Island incident and the explosion of violence across the country sparked new debate in Washington today. ABC's Michelle Norris reports.
The tragedy in the Long Island commuter train shooting continues to unfold.
Spiritually beautiful, physically beautiful, and artistically talented daughter died of a bullet to the neck. One of the many victims of one gun. One gun.
27-year-old Amy Frederici was the sixth shooting victim to die. 17 others were wounded. The gunman in the Long Island shooting spree used a rapid-fire semi-automatic weapon that allowed him to gun down 23 people in less than 3 minutes. One man who survived that shooting said he plans to mount a crusade against those kinds of weapons.
That gun was designed as a semi-automatic weapon to contain 15 rounds, was designed to, in my judgment, inflict the greatest damage in the shortest period of time.
President Clinton agrees and has urged Congress to pass a strong crime bill that would limit assault weapons and create boot camp-style programs for first-time offenders. The Senate has already passed a wide-ranging crime package that would restrict the sale of semi-automatic weapons and put 100,000 more police on the street. There's less support for an assault weapon ban in the House, where members have approved a much narrower crime package.
I've had people come up to me in the Congress and say, I know I should vote for this, it's the right thing to do, but I just can't do it and survive politically. The NRA will go after me.
But the wave of violence that gripped the country last week may prompt the two chambers to hammer out their differences.
If you can move to us on guns, we're going to move to you on prisons and spending and tough sentences. Let's shake on it.
You're not going to roll us in committee.
No way.
Working on an agreement may not be easy, even with pressure coming from the White House. Both sides are taking their cues from the public, and while polls show that a majority of Americans think it's too easy to get a gun, they're still not convinced that tougher gun laws will help reduce crime. Michelle Norris, ABC News, the White House.
There was another shooting incident on public transportation today here in the nation's capital. A masked gunman boarded a city bus, pulled out a handgun, and started shooting. He wounded 2 passengers before escaping on foot. And we'll be back in a moment.
Andre and Michelle are falling in love with America and their Park Avenue Ultra. They love the stopping power of Ultra's anti-lock brakes. They love the security of Ultra's dual airbags. And they have warm feelings about Ultra's available heated driver's seat. It's going to be a wonderful tour. Andre and Michelle are in love with a car that's as good as its name. Ultra from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Skill FlexiCharge cordless tools. We interrupt this ad for a special offer. Now, when you buy a FlexiCharge cordless screwdriver, you also get a FlexiCharge flashlight. The FlexiCharge interchangeable power system from Skill.
Wherever you're waking up, there's freshly brewed coffee by the cup.
Folgers Coffee Singles is ground roast Folgers in its own filter for one great cup anywhere.
Best part of waking up
is singles in your cup.
In just 1 year, something happened to 640 million pounds of chemical pollutants. Instead of becoming waste, they were captured for recycling. The members and partners of the Chemical Manufacturers Association, working for change. Here's a great big idea.
Salad shooter.
From Presto, professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity and power. Special blades to point and slice thick, slice thin, shred, even ripple cut. Right where you want.
Salad shooter.
From Presto. To help relieve your heartburn and give you something your body needs anyway, Tums has calcium.
What does my original Rolaids have?
And aluminum salt.
I think I'll try the calcium. The Tums.
Calcium-rich Tums.
Communities all over this country have turned to legalized gambling to help them through tough economic times, counting on everything from state lotteries to riverboat casinos to generate needed revenue. The town of Wendover, Nevada got rich that way. The town of Wendover, Utah is gambling that it can beat considerable odds and do the same thing. The story from ABC's Tom Foreman.
Wendover, Nevada is a booming gambling town. A half dozen casinos bring $80 million to the local economy every year. New casinos and new homes are going up everywhere. But just across the state line in Wendover, Utah, the story is very different. In this largely Mormon state, gambling is illegal. Brenda Morgan is a bus driver and the mayor-elect there. She sees people moving away, businesses shutting down, her town dying.
You can see that our roads are getting tore up, and we need to upgrade the sewer system. We need more police officers. If we had some kind of income, then we'd have some money, a tax base, to start fixing up the town some.
What Morgan and many others here want to do is move the state line about 3 miles so that they are in Nevada. That would open the door for gambling investments, jobs, new taxes.
Think how much nicer it would be for the two towns to be one. I mean, it just doesn't make sense of 4,000 people being split up into two towns.
But on the Nevada side, some fear taking on the Utah side's problems could stall progress.
It would put a tremendous burden on the gaming industry and the tourism industry to sustain or to be able to fund all of the projects that would have to be undertaken.
Still, even if everyone here decides that moving the state line is a good idea, it will not be easy. The county governments, the state governments, the federal government, all will have to be involved. It could take years.
We'll never live long enough to ever see that.
The city council on the Utah side knows it is a very long shot, but many believe getting in on the gambling down the street may be their town's last chance. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Wendover, Utah.
Their mission to repair the Hubble Space Telescope a major success. The astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour spent some time talking to reporters today. Astronaut Jeffrey Hoffman, who's Jewish, displayed a small silver menorah, saying he had to wait until now to begin celebrating Hanukkah, which began last Wednesday.
Little silver traveling menorah. And so with that and the dreidel, I'm all set for my onboard Hanukkah celebration.
Looks like even more fun in outer space. Coming up next, Dick Schaap in New York with today's sports news. You got anything spinning for us tonight, Dick?
I'll try, Carol. The rich got richer in the NFL today, and the poor got poorer. The Giants won and the Bengals lost. Plus, the brothers O'Bannon breathed new life into UCLA's Bruins.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
Let's look in the Dirty Dictionary under E. Espresso Meso, the coffee grinds you've spilled on the kitchen floor. Dustbuster, that which is lightweight, cordless, and cleans up dirt fast and easy. Dustbuster, the definition of quick cleanups.
There's almost as many kinds of cars as kinds of people. And when those cars need batteries, those people come to Sears, America's #1 battery store. We carry a full line of batteries for every vehicle and every budget. From our Sears 45, guaranteed for nearly 4 years for $29.99, to the Die Hard with free emergency jump starts. One battery isn't going to work for everybody, so we make sure we have the one that works for you. Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
Klaus, I hear we're finally getting the Belgian plant online.
Yes, we've met international regulations, national regulations. Don't worry, everything is fine.
Excellent. What about provincial regulations?
Provincial regulations? What provincial regulations?
No one offers you more international business expertise than KPMG Pete Marwick, the global leader.
Coffee?
Cappuccino. Vanilla cappuccino.
Mocha cappuccino. Make that a decaf mocha.
Okay. Only Maxwell House makes cappuccino in all these flavors.
1 cappuccino, 1 mocha decaf cappuccino. And for you, vanilla.
Maxwell House cappuccinos. The magic without the machine.
The Miami Dolphins are proving to be the team to beat in the AFC, and that's just what the Steelers have in mind. on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Now back to New York, Dick Schaap and today's sports news. Dick?
Thank you, Carol. What a difference a year makes. A year ago, the New York Giants and Cincinnati Bengals had similarly mediocre records. But now, the Giants improved the best record in the NFC to 10-3, Rodney Hampton rushing for 172 yards. At the other extreme, Cincinnati won the duel for last place, losing to New England in a comedy of errors, the Bengals' 12th defeat in 13 games. What a difference 2 years make. 2 years ago, Ed O'Bannon was injured and brother Charles was still in high school. But now, Ron Claiborne reports.
Ed O'Bannon. Oh, you gotta see that to believe it. Charles lights it up.
They are a devastating 1-2 punch. 6'8" Ed O'Bannon and his brother Charles, 2 inches shorter and 3 years younger. The O'Bannon brothers have led UCLA to a 4-0 start and a top 10 ranking. Together, they elevate each other's game. Call it chemistry.
Ed O'Bannon from Charles.
We both have been playing the game with each other for so long that you tend to think the same.
Ed knows every facet of my game, and I know his. And we tend to work off each other.
Many times in one-on-one drills, they're paired against each other, one watching the other, and that turns the level, their intensity up a notch.
Ed and Charles are close, yet their personalities couldn't be more different.
Charles is very outgoing and Ed is very introverted. They're just opposites.
Growing up near Los Angeles, Ed and Charles played a lot of basketball, often one-on-one in their backyard.
Charles always wanted to beat Ed and put it in the basket, and so Ed wouldn't block his shot because Ed used to block his shot all the time. So he learned real fast.
When Ed was a senior at Artesia High School and Charles a freshman, they were on the same team for the first time and promptly won the state championship. Ed was wooed by all the top colleges, but enrolled at UCLA. The O'Bannon Show almost never opened here at UCLA. 3 years ago, even before his freshman season began, Ed went up for a shot, and when he landed, his left knee was torn apart, his playing career in question.
It was horrible. And, it's something that I don't wish on anyone.
And when he got injured, it really hurt. It hurt myself and the rest of my family.
When Ed came home that night, we were floored, and Ed lifted us up. He said, "I'll be okay."
After an operation on his left knee, Ed underwent 16 months of rehabilitation. Away from basketball, he also discovered the importance of academics.
Unfortunately, it had to happen that way, but I think it was a blessing in disguise for me. If anything, my knee injury made me do my work.
With his knee now strong and his brother at his side, UCLA is once again a serious contender for the Final Four. As always, Ed and Charles rely on the support of their parents.
And it was great just to see one kid out there playing. Now you're seeing two. You just feel like $1 million.
Coming out before the games and seeing my parents, everyone has big smiles on their faces. I think that's something special that we have.
If and when you guys get to the NBA, you looking forward to playing with them or against them?
Either or. I just like to see him in a uniform, myself being in the uniform, my parents in the stands, and let's go at it.
In the meantime, there's an NCAA championship to think about, and maybe to win. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The O'Bannons may someday be the answer to a trivia question. Who are the highest scoring brothers in college basketball history? The answer right now, the Trapukas, Kelly, Tracy, and Todd. Carol?
Thanks, Dick. And we'll be back in a moment.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with Fibercon? Doctor-recommended Fibercon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended Fibercon.
Here's a whole other kind of chip.
Chip Shot.
Presto Chip Shot Potato Chipper. Slices so thin they gotta be crisp. Regular or ripple.
Chip Shot.
Fry them up. Even microwave for a light, no-fat chip. Flavor them the way you like.
Chip Shot.
From Presto.
He's always brought me luck.
White Diamonds, the intriguing fragrance from Elizabeth Taylor. For the holidays, 5 precious parfums, yours for $25.
You can't breathe.
Your sinuses are blocked. Last time you got a doctor's prescription. This time he told you to get Tavis D, the same full-strength medicine without a prescription.
Good morning.
Tavis D, 1 tablet, 12 hours, no prescription.
You hear it in country western music and in the blues and in popular music from Bob Dylan to the Beatles to Stevie Wonder. Now the harmonica is making a comeback, and another enterprising musician is making a very handsome living as a result. ABC's Judy Muller reports from Los Angeles.
The harmonica has always been a mainstay of American music. Now the humble harmonica is enjoying a new wave of popularity. And riding that wave is John Gindick, master of the mouth harp and facilitator of fantasies.
It's like you're on horseback by yourself, or you're the lonely drifter, or it's a blues fantasy. I think there's a romance, there's a fantasy involved with the harp.
For Gindick, it's been a lucrative love affair. His books and tapes, including Harmonica for the Musically Hopeless, have sold more than 1 million copies around the world. His overhead is in proportion to his instrument, small. He records his tapes at his office and carries the tools of his trade in his briefcase.
It's the best way I've ever had of making my living, and it seems like an oddball way, but the other things I've tried haven't worked. But when I teach or when I play, it's like the world says, yes, give us more, here's some money.
His classes are always jammed. By day, they are bankers and electricians. By night, they are learning the arcane language of the mouth harp.
Yeah, you have to tongue and bend.
Learning how to cup their hands just so.
That's the start of it, and that's the way to do it.
Learning to solo. And learning, more or less, to play as a group. One reason the harmonica is so popular, instant gratification.
I can instantly play this. I guess that's what it is. So you pick it up immediately and start playing.
It's also portable.
I was playing my harmonica in the car, and I looked up and I saw a guy riding on a bicycle coming the other way playing his harmonica.
Portable with endless possibilities.
I like to get to the point where maybe I'm sitting in some blues bar and it's a jam night, and they say, does anybody out there want to come up and jam? And I just take out my harp out of my pocket and hop up there and do it.
If that sounds like Walter Mitty, well, a few pipe dreams never hurt anyone. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And that's our report for this Sunday. Tomorrow, why is the government spending millions to train more merchant marines? Your money. Tomorrow on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. I'm Carol Simpson. Have a good week and good night.
From Washington, this has been World News Sunday. Sunday, Chevy Chase drops in for the holidays.
I was just browsing.
Chevy Chase